Fine, I get it. No, they didn't. I'm not surprised. Bureaucratic bores. The original council would have... Why don't we get the special forces to do it? It's not like Botsmaru is doing anything important in the Dolomites. Hey, I just might. But first I have a review to do. Don't tell Pen about my plan, he'll just try to sabotage it. Truth here, and it's time for more Otaku Evolution. Be sure to like, subscribe, and contribute to my Patreon. Psychological anime. I don't cover a lot of them. Am I insecure in my ability to cover intellectually stimulating media? Kind of. But it's also difficult not to spoil a psychological anime just by covering its characters and themes. I'll try not to give away all the major plot twists of this video's topic, Penguindrum, but I can't guarantee a few might slip in, so watch or beware. That said, I love Penguindrum, and not just because of the penguins, though they help. I covered Revolutionary Girl Utena last year, and my view of it was relatively positive, though I wouldn't necessarily put it on my favorites list the way I do with Penguindrum. Utena is pretty good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Penguindrum, originally Mawaru Penguindrum or Spinning Penguindrum, fulfills the promise of Utena better than Utena itself does, by doing more of its characters justice and having multiple interwoven layers that render it superior to its predecessor. But what, do you ask, is Penguindrum? That's a good question. It's a few things. It's kind of a mystery, a puzzle. As for what is the Penguindrum, that's just as mysterious. Well, let's get to the premise. The Takakura family, Shoma, Kanba, and Himari, live peacefully in a home bereft of parental guidance. Himari is unfortunately deathly ill, and in fact dies in the very first episode, after the trio visits an aquarium. But for some reason, a penguin hat that they picked up in the gift shop brings Himari back to life, and transforms her into a form that shows up now and then to berate her brothers and remind them to obtain the Penguindrum, an object which will allow Himari to live a normal life again. All of this apparently ties in with a journal owned by a girl named Ringo Oginome, who believes in destiny and races to become more like her deceased sister by fulfilling her wishes. Also, there's the trio of penguins that come to live with the Takakuras that only they can see. Because sure, why not?
Couldn't find you? Huh? Couldn't find me. What's this?
Oh, wow! I see. So that's where you make the string go.
Just what the hell? What's happening? What's going on here?
We also have characters like Tabuki, Shoma and Kanba's teacher, who used to know Ringo's sister as a child, and Yuri, Tabuki's girlfriend and an actress in a Takarazuka review production, who Ringo sees as her rival for Tabuki's affections. Yeah, you see, Ringo was kind of a creepy weirdo for a good chunk of the series. She's absolutely obsessed with Tabuki, wanting to become one with him so she can replace her sister in his eyes and her parents. Shoma has to deal with her craziness for a long time before she can get a grip. I mean, she's a full-blown stalker cum attempted rapist. but she learns that the scariest thing can be getting her way.
Come on, don't be afraid.
Then you have another stalker, there's a lot of that in this, Masako, who is consumed with Kanba and targets his ex-girlfriends and him alike. She has a brother named Mario,
It's me, Mario!
who, I guess, also has a penguin head keeping him alive? It's never really clear what's going on with Mario, to be honest, and it's one of the show's few flaws. But yeah, Masako is pretty crazy. Kind of badass crazy, but crazy nevertheless. Later on, it's revealed that she has a deeper connection to Kanba than expected. Until then, however... All the characters are connected by the actions of a group from the past that committed a terrorist act in Japan, an obvious reference to the Tokyo subway sarin attack by the terrorist group Aum Shinrikyo in 1995. Without giving too much away, the horrible act in the world of Penguindrum changed everything for several characters, sending them on the rocky path they find themselves in the series. Out of this act came desperation to act in redemption, revenge, anguish, and sacrifice, all major themes in the series.
Kanba, this is...
Police are currently conducting their investigation. We now turn to a live report from the scene. Miss Nakamura!
That's
Miss Nakamura!
our house, right?
Yeah, here we see.
What are they talking about?
What is going on? What's happening here?
I'm in your house right now. I'm witnessing the police investigation. Looks like it'll continue till dawn. I'll go to you once it's finished. Till then, just look after Himari.
Talking about the themes of the series without spoiling it is a thorny prospect. I really can't analyze it to the degree I'd prefer, because I'd like the viewer of this video to go out and watch Penguindrum for themselves, but I'll try to get through it without spoiling too much. It really is a multi-layered series with a lot of thematic weight. I think one of the most interesting themes of Penguindrum is the treatment of children by society. We see what happens to the kids who fall through the cracks in society, which is represented by the child broiler. Why it's called a broiler when it doesn't broil is beyond me, but I guess child shredder or child gnasher was too graphic. The children we see at the child broiler are children who've either been physically or emotionally abandoned, usually by adults. It is here that they are forced to disappear and become nothing, invisible so they don't have to be dealt with. We get two main examples of the child broiler. When it's introduced, it's in the backstory of Tabuki, whose mother preferred his child prodigy younger brother to him. He's saved from the broiler by being acknowledged as worthy of life by another. In the second case, we have Himari, who found herself neglected and abandoned until she could be rescued by the chosen child that acknowledged her. This is obviously a metaphor for the children in society who are either discarded by their parents or remain unfulfilled because nobody chooses them. Nobody acknowledges their worthiness, so they disappear in the minds of others.
Himari!
I knew the story of the first man and woman on Earth. They were both punished. Life is a punishment, isn't it? But even when it's a crime, I want it to be with you.
But the child broiler isn't the only case of children being mistreated. We have the striking backstory of Yuri, a story of clear child abuse, possibly sexually, by her father. We hear the justifications abused children are fed that keep them from seeking help. Yuri is likewise rescued from her situation by the same person who saved Tabuki. When it's the simple acknowledgement of others' worthiness that could be the difference between them disappearing or not, naturally there would be strong bonds between those who choose each other. Which brings us to the next theme, strong bonds, both familial and otherwise. The three Takakura siblings have seemingly unbreachable bonds. They're willing to do anything for each other. It's because of these bonds that Kanba goes to dangerous, deadly lengths to protect Himari by taking jobs from the organization that committed the terrorist act 16 years prior. He throws himself entirely into finding a cure for Himari, and so he's manipulated easily by the series' antagonists. Again, I don't want to go too much into this as to not spoil everything. You'll just have to watch it and see. It's because of her perceived bonds with her family and Tabuki that drives the destiny-obsessed Ringo to dangerous extremes to become a worthy successor to the love engendered by her deceased sister. She's convinced that by following her sister in her plans in the diary, that she can fully replace her and repair the damage done by her sister's death. This, of course, ties into our next theme, which I'll get into in a moment. But we see several characters' strong bonds actually breaking under their own weight throughout this series. Bonds either real or perceived that drive characters to such extremes that they become completely different people, and the bonds they had are frayed by pressure.
We need money. It's the only way to save Himari. This is the end.
Another huge theme in the series is fate, or destiny. There's repeated conversational motifs and character motivations based around the idea that fate drives life, or that fate is either a wonderful or horrible thing. On the one hand, if fate is true, the cruelty and despair some face is all the more wanton, and whoever drives fate is evil. On the other, fate is also seen as ensuring that nothing is wasted. Everything ultimately serves its purpose in the bigger picture of life. I didn't come away with the impression that the series takes a hardline stance on the concept of fate, or whether it truly exists and can or cannot be fought or changed. I think the show would prefer if you contemplate the positives and negatives. Again, I don't want to bump into too many spoilers, so I'll leave it vague here.
I shall now drink this. Your sister never could drink milk, could she?
Yeah, but this is...
Very well, then. Look closely. Behold! Well, do you believe me now?
If you need a little help with the themes and motifs of Penguindrum, I suggest checking out the 1985 movie Night on the Galactic Railroad, which I covered in the first year of Otaku Evolution. The video is still up by the time of this video's publishing. It shares some of the same symbolism, including the apples, and the theme of sacrifice for others' sake. The parable of the scorpion fire from the movie is used in Penguindrum. I mean, I guess you can go and read the Night on the Galactic Railroad book, but why do that when there's anime to watch? Plus, I think Penguindrum specifically references this version. It's a great movie and it's out on Blu-ray. Come to think of it, I still need to get a copy on Blu-ray myself. Speaking of Blu-rays, Penguindrum's been out of print for a while, hasn't it? But the two compilation movies, complete with new footage, is coming out on Blu-ray from Sentai Filmworks in July of this year. And you can watch both the TV and movie versions if you're one of the 6 subscribers to High Dive. I kinda hope they change most of the dub casts. Monica Rial and Emily Neves kind of carried the TV series dub, and only they really deserve to return. Penguindrum is a complicated series, and did I do it justice? I doubt it. But hopefully if you haven't seen it, you're at least interested in seeing it now, and if you have, you understand it a little better or feel like I made some headway into its characters and themes. It's one of my favorite anime, and I enjoyed rewatching it. Well, that's enough for this video. And I'll be taking a month off while I'm off doing... things. So I'll see you all in June. What will I cover when I return? I think there's still some Ava to get to. Until then, see ya!
It's no use. We're going to have to take drastic measures.
Drastic measures?
I've thought for a while now that your way of doing things is kind of lax, Shoma. Instead of following that stalker girl around, aiding in her every delusion, you should just steal that thing from her.
to Russia. I'll be Putin you in the Hague, asshole. This is not Russia. Ah, shit! Well, while I'm here, I might as well take in the sights.